Greetings and welcome to the 17th episode of Oblivion House Mod Hunters. As always, I'm your host, TrulyOriginalArtCom, and today we have another batch of 3 randomly themed house mods for your viewing pleasure as we try and find your dream home in Cyrodiil. As always, you can find all the download links for all the mods shown down in the video description below. So let's get things started with our popular house mod of the week, which this week is Clamshell Cottage by Korana. Now, in order to get this house, you first need to purchase it from the general goods store in Leowyn, and it'll run you about 14,000 to 15,000 gold to buy the deed to it. A modestly hefty sum, and here you can see the house itself. It's a small lower class style Leowyn cottage sitting right on the Nibbin in between Leowyn and Breville, with a small bridge leading up to the front door here, and a little bit of an outdoor seating area to take in the scenery and the calming waters of the river. And out back there's a small dock where you can, park your boat if you have a boat mod, or, go diving for pearls or what have you. And you can see the house on the map here, and like I said, it's about halfway between Leowyn and Breville, possibly a little bit closer to Breville, I'm not really sure, but either way, it's a decent commute back to civilization, though of course there's a map marker, so, that makes things a bit easier. And inside you'll find a small but very cozy and atmospheric home to call your own, with a bit of a nautical theme really. There's only about 3 main rooms included in this small cottage, with a kitchen and food preparation table right off the foyer, which is beautifully pre-decorated to make this, feel like a lived-in house. And as a side note, some of the clutter in here actually works as containers for you to store your items in. And anyway, there's also a dining room with enough seats for yourself and some company. And there's also a master bedroom, again, which is, very nicely decorated with a sort of down-to-earth fisherman feel about it. And there's even a small tub for you to, take baths in that'll, help restore your health. And overall, this is a fairly small and fairly simple home on the Nibbin for you to, call your own. And while it doesn't include a whole lot of features, it has a lot of, charm and atmosphere, as well as a map marker for quick and easy travel, labeled storage containers, and also Cobble support, so you'll find a ton of Cobble features if you use that mod. And I definitely recommend giving this mod a try if you're in the market for, something small and pre-decorated. And next up we have our new house mod of the week, and this week we have Master's Cathedral Home by TrulyOriginalArtCom. And this is a pretty unique looking home. It's actually a giant cathedral outside of the Imperial City, as you can see here, including a gated and walled front around the main entry, and gardens around the side. There's even a small garden out back with a sort of, outdoor cellar thing with wine, which is, kind of interesting looking. You also find a well for drawing water on the side, and there's some really interesting lighting going on here. At night time, you have a pretty cool mix of colors lighting up the cathedral. And looking at the map here, you can see this new cathedral home is, really just right outside the walls of the Imperial City, including a map marker, but even without the map marker, you'd have a very short commute into the city to be sure. And inside you'll find an actually, modestly dark interior, with a large statue greeting you right as you walk in, and this is a kind of, epic feeling main hall, even if it isn't, that huge or anything. There's even these, really cool looking light up display cases in here, which have a really cool effect, but the centerpiece of this chamber is actually the dining room, with a table where you can, seat 6 guests, including yourself, and there's also a throne in here, so you can, hold court over your companions and staff and whatnot, and there's also a few more display cases in here that you can use for, displaying your items. Of course, you'll also find a set of personal quarters down here in the basement with a rather, atmospheric and scenic entry garden, with a few statues and containers, and past a set of hallways here, you can actually find your master bedroom, which of course has a bed, several small display cases and containers, and again, some rather interesting lighting. Really, I gotta say that probably the thing I like most about this house mod is the interior lighting. It's very well atmospheric and unique and, certainly colourful. And anyway, your personal quarters also comes with 2 small display halls, which again have an interesting design. They're basically small circular rooms with the display cases set around the center of the room for you to use, and there's a lot of display cases of varying size in here to show off items both large and small. Now, aside from these small display halls, there's also a much larger display hall in another part of the chapel's underworks, including more of these light-up and multicolored display cases. And you also find a small ingredient garden down here with an alchemy lab that comes with a few sets of novice level alchemical equipment, and a respawning chest of common ingredients. And in addition, because there's a fair amount of display space in here, you'll find smaller side wing display halls that each come with an altar of enchanting or spell making. So this house comes with just about everything for your magical needs, as well as lots of display space. And overall, this is a very unique and certainly rather scenic looking house, conveniently located right outside the Imperial City, with an almost absurdly short commute. It does come with a few features, such as a map marker for quick travel, a number of display cases and display halls, an alchemy lab with ingredient containers, altars of enchanting and spell making, and, all that. And if you're looking for something, that's different and colourful, this might be the house mod for you. And moving on to our final house mod of the week this week, we have our underrated house mod, which this time around is StapleNinja's Skingrad Villa by StapleNinja. And this mod adds a small lodge outside the city of Skingrad, sitting on a small pond with a small walled entrance and a deck with a bridge to the road overlooking the pond here. There's even a little area off to the side with a bench where you can, sit and enjoy the nature around you. And there's even some outdoor dining here with tables and counters so you can enjoy a meal in this, rather peaceful setting. And you can see this house on the map here, and it's really just a short ways north of Skingrad with a pretty short commute overall. And of course, there's a map marker as well. Heading inside though, you'll find a very different and more modern environment, I would say, though it's still very nice looking, with a lounge area over by the fireplace, including a couch and a couple of chairs, and a rather well decorated dining room with a rather beautiful wall painting. And there's naturally also a bedroom, and the house does also have, several modern amenities like electric lights and lamps, not to mention a fridge and oven in the kitchen, which is a fairly small room here to the side, though, still rather nice and clean looking, of course. There's even a small modern bathroom, though this is, mostly a cosmetic room, I believe. There's not really much of a practical purpose here. And overall, this is another very unique and different style of house mod, including a short commute to Skingrad, an outdoor dining area, and, some rather beautiful scenery, but a modern and clean interior that provides a simple place to call home if you're, into a modern style. There's not really a whole lot of features here, aside from a map marker and some storage. I don't believe there's any other services included with the house. Just about everything is pretty much, cosmetic. But if you don't mind all that, you might still want to check this one out. And that wraps up this episode of Oblivion House Mod Hunters. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next week with our next episode. And, don't forget to post some suggestions for house themes that you'd like to see in the comments below.